Talksport live in Cologne, where the stadium is packed and there's so many England fans and flags here as well. On Talksport live in Cologne, it's England against Slovenia. The other game in Group C is on Talksport 2, Denmark against Serbia in Munich. Commentary on that from former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside Nigel Adderley. I just want to go back, Stuart Pearce, to something Declan Rice said in the build-up to this game. He talked about how we were going to see a team tonight that's on the front foot, a team that's in your face. Those were his words, not mine. But what about this heat? Will that stop England being on the front foot? Will it make it difficult for England to be in Slovenia faces?
I don't think it'll be as easy as if we had a nice cool day on our hands, but certainly the sun's dropped down now. It's not on the pitch. You can feel as though it's cooled down, certainly within the stadium, and it's going to be a state of mind from the players as much as the temperature we've got. But make no mistake, it is humid in here.
It is. It's warm. There's no doubt in Cologne tonight as England prepare to take on Slovenia. Win, and they win the group, and that's so important to be in the correct half of the draw as far as England are concerned. I also want to point you to the Dutch game today, Stuart Pearce. Remember, you said Phil Foden, maybe take him off, do something different on the left-hand side after 28 minutes in the first game. Well, Joey Veerman, the Dutch left-sided midfielder, was taken off by Ronald Koeman after 33 minutes because he lost possession with 55% of his balls. His passing accuracy was 47%. He was subbed off after 33 minutes and he was in tears on the bench. A left-sided midfielder again, but sometimes you have to do it for the team, don't you?
Of course you do. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule about when you make substitutions and when you don't. And, you know, we've been talking about it in depth, and it will happen more and more regularly as time goes on in football.
It's like you're Mystic Meg, Mystic Stuart. You know what's going to happen in football, don't you? You know how things are going to go.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I'm a bit freaked out.
Or I make it up as I go along. It's one or the other.
Either way, it's thorough entertainment. Gareth Southgate has come out of the tunnel. He takes his place in the dugout, drops his bottle there. Steve Holland already in his seat. Teams are in the tunnel. And let's just have a look at some of the flags that these amazing England fans have brought out here to Germany. Gareth Southgate goes over to applaud those fans. And, of course, the travelling England fans who, in the main, I believe, from the ones that I know and speak to, they still back Gareth Southgate. I don't think it's as much anti-Southgate here as it is back home, possibly. But some of those flags opposite, and they're everywhere, by the way, to our left and opposite us across the main stand. Blackpool represented Stockport. Weymouth Whites, Leeds fans who live on the south coast. Lincoln, Mansfield. One saying Forest and Magic. Gould Town Tigers, Hull City fans. A massive Arsenal Cologne flag. Bellingham, our GOAT, says that one. Another one saying in Southgate we trust. We mentioned that earlier. That's just above the tunnel opposite us. A big one to the left. Wealdstone FC for Club and Country. Of course, that's the club where Stuart Pearce started his career. And an FC Cologne England flag saying we see things they'll never see. And it's easy to forget when England put in a truly terrible performance as they have done in the last few games, never mind the two here at Euro 2024. It's easy to forget just how it's changed, just how England at tournaments has changed. 2016 humiliated in Nice by Iceland and going home early with a manager who said he didn't know what he was doing. And then 2 years later, it's semi-finals of the World Cup. It's final of the Euros after that, quarter-final, and played well enough to win it. Just missed a penalty in the World Cup after that. These things were unimaginable before Gareth Southgate came along. But he has to top it off. With the quality of players he's got, he knows he has to top it off. And he has to at least play better than they've been playing at this tournament so far. There is little doubt he's got the support from the fans in this stadium tonight as an England fan holds up a 1966 scarf. And sometimes you think you don't need those memories. There's so much that weighs heavy. He's wearing an Admiral tracksuit top from the 70s when England didn't even qualify for World Cups in 74 and in 78. Those were dark, bad times as far as England are concerned. But now qualification is taken for granted, and going deep in tournaments under Gareth Southgate is taken for granted as well. Here in Cologne tonight, there's so much expected from these players, and we've got it live on Talksport. Don't forget the other game in the group, Denmark-Serbia, is live on Talksport 2 as the players make their way down the tunnel, up the steps. The ball is taken from the plinth, and the match officials lead the two teams out. Can I turn around the French referee? He's the one who looks like Leandro Trossard, by the way, in case you want to picture him, as they walk around the England flag and the Slovenian flag, and they all go to stand behind the big banner that says Cologne, just at the side of the pitch. The England flag being rippled by volunteers away to our left in front of the goal. Slovenia flag to the right, and the European Championship trophy flag right in the centre circle. Colours of the nations involved all around it. And listen to the noise from the England fans as well. They are energised. There's no doubt about that. Just a little bit of a word on Jude Bellingham just jumping high in the sky. He's energised now, even if he wasn't in the warm-up. Let's get the national anthems first with Slovenia. Jude Bellingham doing his laces up while the national anthem was going on. He just throws his gum away. He's energised now, that's for sure. Here comes God Save the King. From those England fans, how desperate are they for this side to do well? Me too. England, you may have qualified for the knockouts, but so far you've given us no reason to think you're going to win the Euros. Stop dishing up dross, play better, be brilliant. I mean, how hard could it be? England against Slovenia, live on Talksport with former England captain Stuart Pearce and your England commentator, Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. As England embark on the final game of the group stage, there's a pretty familiar narrative. An opening 12 days has seen anticipation morph into frustration, a win and a draw, but a clamour for change, results exceeding performance, some of the parts greater than the whole, but amidst that frustration, qualification the second week will end with England in the second round. But right now, their tournament's reached the crossroads. Nobody denies the copious room for improvement. A win allied to a performance tonight would breed cautious optimism and provide a much easier draw. More of the same compounds the pressure, making both a turnaround and their knockout opponents that much harder. So whilst the third night jeopardy is elsewhere, these next 90 minutes on the banks of the Rhine could shape England's tournament and destiny. Jordan Pickford plays in goal. He, like John Stones, starting a 22nd successive tournament game for England. And that ties Ashley Cole's all-time record. Walker at right back, Trippier at left back, and it's Mark Gahey again, partnering John Stones in the heart of the defence. Rice plays alongside Gallagher for just the second time for England. Saka, Bellingham and Foden in support of Harry Kane, who got the winner the last time the two sides met, nearly 7 years ago. All Blacks in goal for Slovenia. Karničić, Drkšić, Bjol and Janja. Stojanovic, Nezdacherin, Elshnik and Maka. And Špora alongside Šeško up front in a 4-4-2. Monsieur, what are your final thoughts tonight? How do England go about breaking down this tight, compact, resolute 4-4-2?
Well, first thing you've got to do, Jim, is move the ball quickly. When teams get back in slot and compact, you've got to move it quickly. You've got to get turned every opportunity you can, and you've got to switch play. They're the three commodities we need tonight. And I think if we do that, once we get the ball into wide areas, obviously Saka's going to play a big part in this. But can we have a little bit of more forcefulness down the left-hand side as well?
England predominantly attacking down the right-hand side in the tournament so far, and exactly the same can be said from Slovenia. So you would imagine that Kieran Trippier defensively is going to have a busy night. The way that Karničík pushes forward, and Stojanovic in front of him will tuck inside. A very defensive-minded midfielder playing on the right wing. England in all white and Slovenia in all blue. England will be kicking from right to left in this first half. England's opening two games have been sweat-soaked and a tough watch. The calabaming evening in Cologne bring the sweet smell of success. A night when a result and a performance need to go hand in hand. History is littered with tournament winners who've survived slow starts to come good when it matters. And England need to sow the seeds of optimism that it might just happen again. From the kick-off, England in possession inside their own half. Walker finding Gahey. And it is, as we've been saying, a very hot night here in Cologne on the banks of the Rhine, but the pitch is entirely bathed in shadow. It's 9 o'clock here, local time. There's certainly nothing like dusk as yet, but mercifully, as far as the players are concerned, there is shadow, and the floodlights are just casting shadows onto the players as England retain possession and work it back for Pickford. A slightly poor pass out from him. Stones did well to rescue it, but there was the odd word between the pair of them. And England will be able to bring the ball forward again here with Gahey to Declan Rice, who's just dropped deep in between the two centre-halves, splitting them for a moment. That creates a bit of room for Stones. Stones out towards Gahey, who can control the ball and bring it forward. Now the press applied by Sporta. Rice will bring it under control. Gahey threatened to go back to his goalkeeper, did well to turn out, and he'll just chip it forward towards Harry Kane. It's flicked off the top of a Slovenian head back inside their own half, but it'll be mopped up easily enough back towards Jan Oblak. And England now will apply the press at the front with Phil Foden. Karničík is able to get the ball away. That was better from England, real good intent from Foden, leading the press on the Slovenian right back. Trippier getting it forward here for Rice, midway inside the half that England are attacking. Collect the ball down the line from Trippier. Foden, a little bit unlucky, his sliding challenge comes in on him, and the ball flicked into his ankle. Goes out of play for a goal kick, but the promise was that England were going to be in the faces of Slovenia, and a couple of minutes in, the intruder they were.
Yeah, indeed. I was just thinking about the defence. I think have played reasonably well over the two games that we've seen so far, Jim. Maybe our two central defenders up against the two strikers, which is unusual this day and age, could be their biggest test.
Walker comes back to mop up. The Slovenian contingent were absolutely adamant that that should have been a corner. A goal kick has been given, but the ball was moving when Jordan Pickford took it. He's not happy at what he saw to be pedantry from the referee, but I think the decision was absolutely correct. Bernard Turpin asking for the goal kick to be retaken. Turpin, the referee in charge of England's win over Italy earlier this season, the Wembley success. Jordan Pickford in all orange, spotting the ball down, and now he will drive it forward, left-footed, way over halfway. Kane going up for it, beaten in the air by Bjol, and the ball goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Kyle Walker, just in front of the England flags over on the far touchline. It's worked very quickly from right to left. England playing at a good tempo, a much better tempo in these very early stages from what we've seen so far. Reminder, but over on Talksport 2 right now, the other game in this group, which will have implications. That's 0-0 between Denmark and Serbia, as the ball was given away there with a crossfield pass, and England, as a result of that, had to commit a foul. Conor Gallagher with the challenge, and Slovenia have a free kick inside their own.
Yeah, really loose pass there by Jude Bellingham, and we're fortunate enough that the control by Slovenia, went backwards rather than got a turn on and went forwards.
Beyond on the edge of his own penalty area, driving it down for Karnicek. Slovenia coming into this unbeaten in 8, and if they can extend that tonight, not only will they qualify, it'll be their best unbeaten run in their country's history. They've got the ball over on the left flank, fired inside the penalty area, very deep, headed back by Stojanovic, then towards goal by Šeško, but comfortably claimed by Jordan Pickford. Slovenia winning 2 headers there inside the England penalty area. No harm done, 4 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, a good attack there. Certainly whipped it out wide, left-hand side, in it come, and first and second contact attained. Still would prefer us looking to go forward slightly more, and another loose pass there by Gahey.
And given away, Šeško able to pick it up. Declan Rice comes back, puts the challenge in. Maka, one-time Brighton Hove Albion winger, has possession over on the Slovenian left. As he works it forward, he's just gone out of play for what will be an England throw. But already through 5 minutes, there's been a betrayal of the nerve and the fact that the England players feel under pressure with the situation they find themselves in.
Yeah, it's there for all to see, to be fair. We've had a couple of bad passes, we've had people playing safe options, and a couple of passes to fellow players that have been slightly overhit and driven at them, and it shouldn't have been.
Throw taken on the England right-hand side. Kane trying to pick it up and turn, can't do so. One back in the midfield by Nezda Sherin. And play forward towards Maka. Nezda Sherin rescues a slightly poor return ball. Bellingham herring after that, trying to put the pressure on Durkasic. His long ball forward, easily headed by Kyle Walker, back for his goalkeeper. And Jordan Pickford bowls it out. Clean sheets in 9 of his last 14 tournament games, and 10 in all. Trippier chipping the ball forward here for Bellingham's run, and Durkasic comes across from the centre-half position ahead of the way. Bellingham peeling out to this left-hand side again, winning a throw.
Yeah, better play there. Trippier received the ball. Instead of playing safe, forward, backwards and sideways, he's turned the opposition round. Good run by Bellingham, and the worst you'll get is a throw-in in the opposition's final third.
He's just slowing things down a moment in the centre circle, and now Walker will work it forward towards Mark Gahey. England in all white tonight, shirt, shorts and socks. And Slovenia in all blue. They're ranked in the FIFA list just inside the top 60, but the yellow rankings has them just outside the top 30. It's certainly helped by the fact that they've beaten Portugal this year, but that is their only victory in the last 10 years against top 10 opposition. England had to ensure that that run continues tonight. 3 lines in possession, work it down towards the left flank for Phil Foden. Foden coming in off that side, Stojanovic following in but not putting a challenge in. Ball goes back for Rice, now down towards Stones. Bukayo Saka hasn't seen too much of it in the early stages, but drops back here. Back for Stones it goes, Gahey inside the centre circle. Kane drops down to a deep position on the inside left channel to pick it up and hits a long diagonal out towards Saka. Saka chasing after it, the retreating Janja can head it away. Maka will pick it up, looks for his fullback. Saka in there very quickly, unrewarded because the clearance from Janja hit him and goes out of play for a throw, but that was good defending from the front by the Arsenal man. Still 0-0.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bellingham's position. He seems to be playing sort of more on this left-hand side, I would say, than I'm used to seeing him play. So almost an inside left position, and obviously Saka's been starved to the ball so far, and if you consider he is the one player who can take someone on and go past him, he would be the one I'd be feeding as much as possible.
He's almost alternating with Phil Foden. Foden drifts back out of the left touchline now, but sometimes he'll come in at 10 and Jude Bellingham will push forward into a wider position to accommodate that. So there's more fluidity between those two than we've seen in the previous 2 games. You're with Talksport, and it's still 0-0 in both games in this Group C. So as things stand, England will win the group. But as we saw earlier in that extraordinary climax in the Austria-Netherlands-France group, so much can change so quickly. Austria ending up winning that group. Here's Harry Kane towards the edge of the penalty area. And it'll be clear. Declan Rice heading the ball down. Kieran Trippier on the left-hand touchline for England, midway inside the Slovenian half. Again, there's no challenge coming in on him from Stojanovic, but he's just blocking off his run. stopping him turning, forcing the England man to go back. Forward he goes from Gahey to Foden. Foden down towards Trippier. Trippier again taking up more venturous positions in the early stages of this game than we've seen in the previous two. Given more licence to push forward. England trying to play with a slightly higher defensive line as well than we've seen latterly. Saka works the ball back for Kyle Walker. Walker to John Stones. 9 minutes in here on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce talking you through the action here in Cologne. Jude Bellingham was able to pick up the ball. Good little 1-2 between him and Foden. Bellingham couldn't quite scoop the return pass into his feet. Slovenia were able to bring it away. We'll work it down towards the right-hand side where Carnage had picked up possession very quickly, lost that Bellingham. And Trippier did well in conjunction there. England working forward long now for Phil Foden. Foden clipping it inside the area, and Saka slipped at the vital moment. But the offside flag is up anyway, and it's a free kick to Slovenia inside their own box. We're through the opening 10 minutes, Stuart. What have you made of it?
Well, I think there's been a nervous start from England, I've got to say. What I want to see is more of what we just saw from Harry Kane. He's picked the ball up, could have played safe, got turned and popped it over the back of the Slovenian defence. For me, every time we turn the ball over or get possession of the ball, you've got to be looking in behind if possible. I don't mean you have to play it, but I mean you at least have to be looking to play, looking for the run.
Gahey heads a long ball from the Slovenian goalkeeper Jan Oblak away. Only 5 men have played more games for Atletico Madrid in their history than Oblak, who's into the 460s now. Back for Durkasic. Durkasic 10 yards inside his own half. Not put under any immediate pressure from Bellingham so he could take it on. Bellingham then applied the press. Stojanovic will be able to pick it up and he will drive forward. Goes out towards Sporta on the right-hand side of the box. Went through the legs of Declan Rice. Nervously for a moment. Gallagher behind him was in the right position to clear from inside the box. And Slovenia win the seconds. And there's the Cherin has it. Turn from him. Back through the midfielder Elshnik. One-time Derby County player. Now to Bjorn. Bjorn out to the left-back Janja. Janja will turn it forward, trying to get the touch off Walker, which wasn't forthcoming. It's an England throw. Reminder at the end of this game, about 10 o'clock or so, your time, we'll have all of the reaction from down pitchside. The headline makers and Gareth Southgate will be speaking to our England correspondent Faye Carruthers. After that, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy giving you the chance to have your say on the night's football. The Sports Bar from 10:30 tonight on 03717223344. And following the game, be sure to catch the latest England reaction episode, the debrief with myself, Adrian and Stuart on Talksport's YouTube channel. That'll be up for you very late tonight. Something for you to get your head round on your way to work tomorrow morning. With Talksport, we're 11 minutes in here in Cologne. It's 0-0 and largely chanceless so far. As Gallagher plays the ball back for John Stones. Stones 15 yards in the Slovenian half, picking up possession, forward towards Trippier, down towards Jude Bellingham. Bellingham works it forward again for Kieran Trippier and back for Jude Bellingham again on the left flank here.
If I was giving any advice to Trippier, what I would say is when you pick the ball up, whether you're 10 yards inside your own half or slightly inside, the Slovenians are trying to block off the wide pass out to either Bellingham or Foden. I would draw a line between you and the goal and run on that axis, because all of a sudden you're going to come inside like Foden's doing now, and Trippier will be on his stronger right foot.
Something England might be able to work upon. And Stones lays the ball down for Gahey to Kieran Trippier again on halfway. Now, this is another one of those phases of possession where the passes feel quite safe. Possession being retained almost for the sake of it rather than with any real intent and purpose. Walker forward towards Gallagher and back again. Walker forward towards Foden, who finds himself on the right flank for a moment. There's a strong challenge coming in on him for the centre-half Biol, who stepped up from the defensive line. That's another example of Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham just alternating their roles. Foden now at 10 and Bellingham on the left for a moment. Long crossfield ball. Well-intentioned for Kieran Trippier, but it's drifted over his head and goes out of play for a Slovenian throw. 13 minutes in It's England 0, Slovenia 0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, you can see that little bit of nervousness in our ranks, which is quite interesting, really, when you consider we're out the group, we've qualified, and this is a bonus ball in many, many ways.
Stays this way. England win the group. Denmark comes second. Slovenia come third. And we'll have 3 points and a goal difference of 0, which almost certainly, not certainly, but almost certainly would be enough for them to qualify. Ball's back for Pickford. Pickford played down to the left flank here for Kieran Trippier. Trippier getting it forward for Bellingham. Actually, it would, I beg your pardon, it would be enough for them to qualify. If they avoid defeat tonight, they will definitely be through. And if they can finish with 3 points and a goal difference of 0, they will be one of the best third-place teams. Gahey works the ball square for Stones, and it rolls over the top of his foot and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Slovenian left-hand side. 15 minutes in. I think the headlines from the opening 15 minutes, Stu, that there is the intent to have more attacking endeavour. There is also a bucket load of nerves.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's been a few loose passes, a few overhit passes, and certainly a large modicum of safe passes.
How much of an upgrade is it for you on the first 2 games? Is it an upgrade for you?
The jury's out for me on that one. I'm not suggesting it would be an upgrade for what we've seen. Time will tell on that.
Janja taking a throw into the feet on the edge of the penalty area. Back out to Janja again. Fired in deep for Sporta, but over his head. Pickford came out. Was very unlikely to be able to get to that. It beat him and Sporta, and goes out of play for a throw on the England left-hand side.
Yeah, I would say this underlying nervousness is a concern to me, if I'm being honest with you, Jim. But we need to just find something going forward a little bit more. At this moment, we're 15 minutes in, and our most effective attacking player, Saka, I'm not sure he's hardly touched the ball.
Here's Phil Foden. Foden laying the ball back through the midfield for Jude Bellingham. He's dropped deep into Declan Rice's position for a moment, and now can work it out towards Kyle Walker. Walker down the line. Gallagher flicking on. Saka might be able to get the right-hand side of the area. He can. Clips it in from the byline at an angle that wasn't sufficient for Foden to be able to get to it. And it's cleared by Stojanovic, but that was better from England, turning the back line for the first time. Now they're on the back foot themselves, and Sporta will be able to bring the ball forward. Šeško making his way through the middle. Stojanovic joining the attack. Flicks the ball past Gallagher. Gallagher then blocks the cross from Sporta, and it goes out of play for a throw.
Yeah, Trippier will get booked for that challenge inside the opposition's half. It was late. It was the correct decision by the referee. Well played from England there. As I say, Bellingham picking the ball over, out wide, good interchange on our right hand side. Walker and Saka, which is good to see, and a ball into the box just slightly overhit. But from that, the Slovakians countered, and they countered with good bodies.
It's a good advantage play by the referee as well after Trippier had gone in a little bit late and a little bit high on Karnacek. He gets a yellow card. It's only the second shown to an England player in this tournament so far. Conor Gallagher got the other one, so he's the only player who's a yellow card away from a suspension for the round of 16 tie. As things stand right now, your guess is as good as ours as to exactly where England will end up being in the round of 16. Now there are 5 blue shirts in the penalty area in a position to attack this free kick from the Slovenian right-hand side. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. Šeško standing near the edge of the 6-yard box. He comes away from a deliberately offside position, makes a run from out to in, and the ball is played in. Good communication from Pickford to Walker, telling him to leave it. It was well judged. Janja's ball curving wide of the far post and goes out of play for a goal kick that Pickford and England will take. 18 minutes in, and it's still 0-0.
I've got to say that is as good a free kick as you'll get from that area. It was a wonderful ball in from Janja, and it's bounced inside the 18-yard box, level with the back post. England done well to see it out, but from Slovakia's point of view, should have had somebody in and around that area.
Jan Oblak clearing the ball forward. It's still 0-0. Karnacek who scored one of the 2 goals that they've netted so far. The right back playing it forward. The left back, Janja, scored the other. He's in space on the left-hand touchline. Worked the other way towards Spoor, who could get a low skidding shot in. He took a deflection off Gahey, so Pickford scrambled to stop the ball going out of play for a corner, but managed that relatively easily. And he'll bowl the ball out for Kyle Walker.
Sorry, Jim, I'd like to see when our goalie gets the ball, some sort of movement up the front end of the pitch, you know. Boys looking to maybe spinning behind, that type of thing, just to encourage the goalkeeper. He's got a great range of passing.
Well, it was notable in the first game that Harry Kane, I think, received 22 passes in that first game against Serbia, and almost exactly half of them came from Jordan Pickford. Saka coming in off the right flank. Back from him to Bellingham. Bellingham to Rice. Rice to Trippier, who will join in. Only 10 yards outside the Slovenian penalty area here. Back in for Phil Foden. Dropping the shoulder, trying to get towards the byline. Cuts back out once he gets to the corner flag. Lays it down for Trippier. Trippier to Rice. Back in for Foden. Great move. Foden tapped in. Bukayo Saka. He's offside. It was a great England move, but it doesn't count.
I'll tell you what, absolutely outstanding play. Interchange out here, good 1-2s. Rice got on a brilliant position, edge of the box. No one anywhere near him. I was expecting him to turn and run. He's played a ball straight back to Trippier, slid it across the face to a great goal. Trippier just, Trippier or Foden just straight offside.
Yeah, it was the ball played to Phil Foden that saw the offside flag come up rather than the one from Foden to Saka, but that was much better. That was England's best move of the tournament so far.
Yeah, without a doubt, great play.
But no goal, and 20 minutes in it remains 0-0. But the blueprint just laid down in that very moment. That's what England need to do more of. Attacking with tempo, with impetus, with belief. Popping the ball off with purpose. Durkasic. Back inside his own half to his fellow centre-half, Biol. Biol working it forward. Coming in off the left flank is Jan Maka. He's lost out, but it was a foul by Walker. And a free kick as a result inside the centre circle to the Slovenians, who played England 6 times before. They got a draw in Ljubljana back in 2016 in Gareth Southgate's second game in charge, a 0-0, but England have won the other 5 meetings of the 2. The free kick taken quickly, too long for Janja. Goes straight out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Jordan Pickford. 21 minutes gone. It's England 0, Slovenia 0, and these are the thoughts of the former England captain, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, super movement there. We've got the ball in the back of the net. Exactly what's needed. Play and move. Volley a pass, bounce off little 1-2s, but do it with pace and tempo.
Because the offside flag came up, it doesn't count as an attempt on goal, and England still haven't had an attempt so far. 20 minutes in, 70% possession. That's broadly in line with what we anticipated it was going to be. Because Slovenia have only had 36% possession in the tournament so far, which is the second worst. England taking a free kick too quickly and have been asked to pull the ball back. It was a poor challenge by Janja, and he's got a yellow card, which means he will miss the round of 16 tie through suspension. He's just had his arm around the midriff of Bukayo Saka, stopping it turning. Janja in the book.
Yeah, more importantly, Jim, if we keep feeding Saka, he might miss some of this game, which will be even more instrumental to us. Walker there shoved the ball into Saka's feet. Saka's done well. Walker backed off 10 yards. If I was Walker with his pace, I'd be shoving it into Saka's feet and charging after the ball.
England are in possession. Mark Gahey's got it. There's been the odd flash of nervousness defensively from England, but beginning to settle down, get the game into a more positive manner as they push forward. Walker wins a throw. Taken over on the far touch on the other game, also 0-0. Incidentally, it's lively right now on Talksport 2 between Denmark and Serbia. England, remember, win the group if they win this game, or if they draw, unless Denmark win by 2, or they win by 1 and score more goals than England. So it was pretty close at the top of the group if England don't win this game, but if they do, they're home and hosed, and they're in what on paper would be much the easier half in the draw. Foden clipping the ball out towards the England right-hand side for Walker. Missed kick from Walker, actually ended up being a good dummy for Bukayo Saka coming in off the flank. He's played it back for Foden. Foden now towards Trippier. Bellingham gravitating out towards the left-hand side, has it again. Ball in from him was deflected and cleared. Out towards Gahey. Gahey on halfway. More than happy to turn it all the way back for Pickford, who's got plenty of time to see what's ahead of him. And he just side foots a careful ball through the defensive line towards John Stones and down towards Gahey again.
I don't know whether Gareth and his coaching staff have looked and said we need to get more from the left side, but already in this game we've seen more from the left side. Why is that? Well, Bellingham is coming over this side with Foden, with Trippier, Rice as well, and there's almost a bigger overload player-wise.
That's a poor touch by Rice, who missed Bellingham from close range. The midfielder Nejda Cherin played the ball forward, and that was a poor touch as well. Easily won back by England. And Stones whacking it right-footed, has won a throw as he's launched it into Šeško from close range. It's still, although it has been an improvement, there's not the wholesale predictability from England going forward that we've seen before.
I think a bit of that is down to Walker as well. I think he's been very conservative. He's playing and standing or backing off. I think he can help out Saka a little bit more when he gives him the ball.
Foden's on halfway for England here. Back from him to Kieran Trippier. Kane dropping off deep. Just popping the ball back. Nejda Cherin following him through the midfield. Kane getting it back from Gahey, working it forward. Again, it's come off the Slovenian central midfielder and goes out for a throw, which will be taken on the England right. 0-0, 25 minutes gone. England still, although they've had the ball in the net, the goal disallowed for a fractional, but correct offside. Haven't had a shot yet on Jan Oblak's goal. There's Bukayo Saka coming in off the right flank. It's a lovely turn, trying to poke the ball then past Janja. Gallagher peeled past him and went out towards the right. Slovenia win it back. Šeško laying it off for Maka, who will come forward, and then there's a poor challenge from him, and the referee has given England a free kick for a foul on Conor Gallagher on halfway. And England beginning slowly to get a grip of this game and take control. The last 6 or 7 minutes have been their best 6 or 7 minutes of the night so far.
Yeah, and there looks to be more balance in our attack at the moment. You know, Foden's holding his width, Bellingham's come to join him.
Foden poking it forward there for Kane, who might have been offside by the time the ball was played. And he went past him anyway and out of play for a goal kick to Slovenia.
Yeah, been nice and lively there. As I say, they've received more of the ball and they're playing a numbers game on this left-hand side. So if you drew a line down the pitch, probably this side of the centre circle, all of a sudden you've got Gahey, you've got Trippier, you've got Rice, you've got Foden, you've got Bellingham when we're attacking.
And what that has done is negate the attacking threat of Slovenia, who, like England, are very right-sided heavy in pushing forward. That's what we've seen in the opening 2 games with Karnicic loving to get forward from right back, and Stojanovic, a defensive-minded midfielder in front of him on the right wing, giving him the licence to do that. Gahey goes back for Pickford. The Slovenes haven't really been able to attack down this near touchline so far, which is the England left. Let me give you from right to left. And towards the mass ranks of England support, nearly everybody in the ground wearing a white shirt. And the Slovenes in their change kit of blue tonight, but the Slovenian fans away to our right, everyone else in here supporting England. Declan Rice has got it. 11 Slovenians between him and goal. Pops it off for Walker. Gallagher letting it run. Out he goes for Bukayo Saka. Good ball between the lines for Harry Kane's movement. Kane trying to take on Bjol, couldn't turn with possession. One back though, well on the edge of the penalty area by Bellingham. Bellingham couldn't get a shot in or pass towards Foden. Rice dives in, Bellingham likewise. England win it back, Trippier forward towards Foden. Trippier gets it back again, down towards Foden on the corner of the penalty area. And the England fans infused by that. That was a good passage of play with high intensity tackling coming in. Foden then works it forward, it comes off Karnicic and goes out for a throw, which will be taken on the England left-hand side by Trippier.
Yeah, you can see there's more intent in England. The focus has been sharpened, the tackles are that much more clinical.
Foden Trippier, Karnachik trying to get it away from Bellingham. Karnachik working it through the midfield, well taken down. Shesko making a run forward. Elsnik trying to play him in. Pickford's going to get there first and gets his hands to the ball on the edge of the penalty area. And now Gallagher will get it, and another big roar of expectation from the England fans as they get it forward.
Gallagher receives the ball there. He's got oceans of space and he decides to go sideways. That's where he's got to drive into holes. That's what gets the crowd off their seats.
Bellingham shipping the ball just behind square for Kyle Walker. He's 10 yards inside Slovenian territory. And he's taken 3 out of the picture by finding Rice. Rice to Kane, shot on the turn is easily blocked by Durkasic. Ricochets off him and spins down towards the left-hand touchline. Trippier for Foden. Foden's ball in. And then on the stretch, Janja, the left-back, pokes it behind. England have the first corner of the night. It's 0-0.
Yeah, well done, Phil Foden. Ball come out wide then. And we've got the opportunity, 2v2. Put the ball in the box. Worst case scenario, we get a corner opportunity to feed the ball into the box. We have to play at a tempo that is good enough for us, which will be not good enough for the Slovenians.
Trippier spots the ball down on the corner quadrant. Foden is there, offering himself for the short one. Gallagher stands in front of the goalkeeper, although he's got a Slovenian defender between him and Oblak. There are 4 more white-shirted England players near the penalty spot. Gahey and Bellingham. Stones a little bit deeper, Kane deeper still, with Durkasic keeping an eye on him. It's in towards Harry Kane. Off the top of Kane's head, keeps it alive. Defensive header from Stojanovic comes outside the penalty area. The bounce slightly misjudged by Rice. Has done really well to win it back though. Kane from distance, and Oblak can get his hands behind it and make the save from England's first shot on target of the night.
Yeah, good play there. Declan just misjudged the bounce, but his physical prowess and his energy turned it over. You can certainly see the focus on energy within the England team tonight.
Earlier today, Austria beat the Netherlands 3-2 in a thriller. France won, Poland won. Our Talksport 2 game earlier today, so Austria won that group. May well end up playing Turkey. France finished second in it. They're going to get the team that finished second in Group E, which could be anybody. The Dutch finished third but go through. And we've got more live action coming your way tomorrow. Slovakia against Romania, Ukraine against Belgium. They're the afternoon games at 5 o'clock kickoffs. And then Georgia, Portugal and the Czechs against Turkey at 8. Sporta towards the edge of the penalty area. Tried a shot. Ricocheted high off Stones and comes through for Jordan Pickford.
Yeah. As I say, Pickford receives it and it's 3-on-3 on the halfway line, and there's no suggestion at all that that ball's going to be delivered quick. He's got no body language from the forwards, and I think every now and then he's just going to have to deliver something.
Now towards Saka. Saka clipping it forward towards Harry Kane. Kane to Kyle Walker. Walker into the feet of Gallagher, and then back for Kyle Walker again. Walker working it across the face of Gahey to Kieran Trippier. Will be down pitch side in a moment with our England correspondent Faker Others. Phil Foden's got it. Exchanging passes with Trippier. And then Foden goes back inside his own half for Mark Gahey, and the build-up now just becomes a little bit more pedestrian again. Now, Faye, what have you spotted from your position right down behind that goal?
Well, Jude Bellingham came just behind the goal, took a swig of water and threw it down in anger. He's getting very frustrated, had a bit of a pop at the referee. Additionally, him and Kane were in the same space at one point. They haven't quite worked out how to be in and around the 18-yard box when those balls are coming in.
Faye, thank you. Ball goes out towards Walker. Walker over on the right-hand touchline. Gallagher makes a run past him. Now towards Stones. He's got Gahey in support for him. And England slowly bringing the ball forward. Slovenians shuffling. There's never too much of a gap between the back four and the midfield four in front of them. Trippier getting forward again towards Phil Foden. Foden, who might well have the key for England here tonight. Getting the ball back. Trippier again. Rice will come forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Drop of the shoulder. Turns in, then turns out. Does well to poke the ball under duress for Trippier. Slid down the side of the fullback for Foden. Foden playing it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Walker coming onto it. Spoons it square. rather than trying a shot. Saka can keep it alive for England. Into the feet of Gallagher and then back for Saka again, who's brought down. And it's a free kick to England. 10 yards outside the penalty area, maybe 12, right of centre, and in a shooting position.
Yeah, this overload on the left-hand side's bearing fruit. I've got to say, it's a 4v3 overload, and the more we can get the ball out there, the better. I would quantify that as well, saying on the right-hand side, I'm fed up with Cole Walker getting the ball, being fronted up by a player, rolling it beyond that player into Saka's feet, and then just standing where he is or backing off. He's got to be charging beyond. It's a giving to Saka and then a run. That's going to help the wide player out.
So England with everybody forward for this free kick. Phil Foden stands over it, and Kieran Trippier is there as well. It's almost an identical position to that Trippier scored from against Croatia in the World Cup semi-final in 2018, which remains his only international goal. But Foden looks the more likely to take this. He's hit it left-footed, and it was a good one into the top right-hand corner before Oblak came across and made the save.
Really good free kick there, whipped it above the wall, going into the top corner, but the goalkeeper made it easier than it potentially was.
So much experience, Jan Oblak, the Slovenian goalkeeper, one of the doubted all-time stars of Slovenian football, played in the side that held England back in 2016. 68th cap for him tonight. Stojanovic down towards Šporár on the right-hand side for Slovenia. They've won a throw in an attacking position, and Jan Karničnik will come across to take it. Now they've scored their goal against Serbia, and a couple of 1-1 draws so far. Slovenia take a couple of steps back to come forward again. It's Elšnik who's played it back for Pjol. Pjol now to Drkšić, the shaven-headed of the two centre-halves. He can drive it forward 40 yards. On the end of that is Kieran Trippier, but he was beaten in the air by Stojanovic. Slightly challenge comes in to beat Conor Gallagher in the midfield. Šeško's layoff was poor. It was a good job for England that it was. Maka couldn't make the most of it. They retained possession, but England have been able to get their shake back behind the ball because of that poor touch. Now towards the edge of the penalty area, it's worked out towards Stojanovic again. Stojanovic coming in off the right flank. It's 0-0 at the moment. Karničnik clipping it in, really firing it in. And it hit Mark Gahey at the near post, and he was going to be able to clear. Then it's helped back over the top again. Elšnik couldn't hold it up, and it's clear. Now towards Foden, he's lost it. Stojanovic towards the edge of the box. He's inside the penalty area. Back for Karničnik. No first-time cross forthcoming. And there's your build-up from the Slovenians in this attack-minded position. 8.5 to go to half-time here in Cologne. Very hot night, just sitting here in the stands. The brows perspiration-lined. Certainly going to be the case down at pitch side that even at this time of night, 20 to 10 at night almost local time, it's still going to be unpleasantly warm. But there is a bit of a breeze as well, and the game played at a better tempo than we've seen England's two previous ones. Elšnik for Slovenia, down towards Karničnik. Work through the midfield again. Šeško still waiting. The golden boy Slovenian football, the RB Leipzig striker, hasn't had too many opportunities to shine in this tournament so far. Karničnik's got it again to Stojanovic. Fall through the midfield from Elšnik. Elšnik popping it off and then getting it back again. Little left-footed ball down the right-hand side of the penalty area from a player who's had loan spells at Mansfield and Northampton earlier in his career. Karničnik getting it for Stojanovic. Level with the edge of the penalty area for Šporár. Had a seasonal loan at Middlesbrough. Now work towards the edge of the penalty area. England backing off again. Stojanovic clipping it in. They've made a run round the back of Declan Rice. Helped inside the penalty area. It bounces near the spot. Šeško going up for it. Then one of the Slovenians went down. I think it was Maka claiming, or Janja it was, claiming that he was pulled to the ground. And the whistle does go. It's for an England free kick just outside their own penalty area. VAR will be having a quick look at the incident inside the box, but I don't think there's a case to answer.
No, I didn't see enough in that incident, but the last couple of minutes we've seen the threat from this right-hand side of the Slovenians, haven't we? They've played extremely well. They've waited their opportunity to get in behind Trippier and Foden, and they've done it on a couple of occasions.
Here's Gahey. Right forward down the England left for Kieran Trippier. Trippier to Foden. Bellingham making a run forward as England just preparing to restart play there. Bellingham was down, just leaning over. He's making a really good run forward here, but the ball has gone past him. He ends up having to put the brakes on as he slid forward on his knees and put his foot up to kick the hoardings to make sure that he was in control of the collision between the two. What have you made of Jude's opening 39 minutes? More fluidity of movement, but is he heavily involved enough for you?
I think he's playing a frustrated role, if I'm being quite honest with you. I think he's attempted to go and press and shut down, and then when he's not been backed up by a fellow player, he's flailing his arms a little bit, and the odd look at the dugout as much to say, well, hang on a minute, I'm happy to do it, but I need some reward for doing it as well. I think his positional play, playing on this left-hand side, inside left, has been helpful to us for a numbers game as well, for the overload on the left-hand side. So we've had more punch because of his position.
Gallagher plays the ball back for John Stones. 5 minutes from half-time here on Talksport. That was Stuart Pearce alongside me, Jim Proudfoot. Talksport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers. Keeping an eye on events on pitch side as well. Adrian Durham in the chair here. And Stones plays the ball down towards Trippier. First time scoop over the top of the full-back for Bellingham. Bellingham's on the edge of the penalty area. Draws two Slovenians towards him. Plays it back for Trippier. Great ball in! And slid just wide at the far post. It was Conor Gallagher that made his way forward, trying to get his head on it and missed it. And then Kane coming in, did get a foot on it, but the ball was just too heavy for him. And he couldn't get the touch that he needed. Much better again.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, we've come fresh from watching the Spaniards yesterday, and every opportunity they had out wide, they whipped the ball in the box. And if that's anything to judge it by, for me, you've got to keep encouraging that. Wonderful ball in and good movement by the players in the box.
Oblak, the ball clear from inside his own 6-yard box. 4.5 minutes to go to half-time. Trippier helping it forward. Turned back by Nezda Cherin. Spora, Stojanovic, a couple of yards inside his own half, and played forward by him to the blonde-haired Sheshko. Now Walker, coming out a through ball, is able to hit it briskly back for Pickford, but he could clear, and then waves his hands in an animated manner around his head. And looking over at the assistant referee on this near touchline, Nicholas Dano, clearly felt that flag should have come up for offside. It didn't. And then we'll get a throw midway inside their own half. With Rice out towards the right-hand touchline for Walker. Clever little nutmeg from Walker of the left-sided player Maka. Now down towards Jude Bellingham. Bellingham over halfway. Phil Foden's got it. Bellingham continues his run. Foden coming back inside. He goes back for Mark Gahey. John Stones can bring it forward over the halfway line. Declan Rice has got a little bit more space. And will bring it on some 7 or 8 yards before feeding it out towards his Arsenal teammate Bukayo Saka. Saka back for Walker. Into the feet of Rice again. Rice going out towards the right-hand touchline and drawing a couple of blue shirts out there with him. Played back towards John Stones. Stones to Kane. Possession still really easy to come by for England. Now Kane can get turned. Kane will make his way forward. There's a deflection on that shot. And loops up over Oblak and over the bar. Out of play for another England corner, they say.
Well done. England making it look quite easy then. Ball to Kane. And what all strikers have got to do, get turned. A wealth of space in front of him, and took the shot on and forced the corner. Still a little bit frustrated with Cole Walker. I think he can offer so much more going forward, playing very conservative at the moment to give us more thrust on that right-hand side.
Both games 0-0. And that means that England will win the group by 2 points. In comes England's second corner. Very deep. Declan Rice coming in at the far post. Just got caught underneath the flight of it. Nobody got a touch at all. And it goes out of play for a throw. It's going to be taken by the Slovenians in their right-back position with a couple of minutes to go to half-time. Still 0-0. Still cagey.
It was a well-worked corner there. As you say, Declan spun round the back and Trippier drove it with his laces to the far side. It's a super ball, but Rice just got underneath it.
Rice trying to get on the end of the next ball that's played forward as well by Jan Oblak. Trippier mopping up, goes back for his goalkeeper. The Slovenian fans away to our right-hand side, just bobbing up and down, mostly in white shirts. The blue shirt in there as well. Stones gets it forward. A very close, warm night here in Cologne in Western Germany. Stones out towards the right-hand side for Gallagher. Because of the conditions, heat-sapping conditions, the full effective use of the bench could well be one of the keys for England tonight. Stones to Gallagher. Gallagher out towards the right-hand side for Walker. Walker getting it, but no thought from him to go forward. He just controlled it and works it back instead for Stones.
No, it should be a little 1-2, a little bump pass, or alternatively shove it into someone in front of you and just run straight at them. All of a sudden, the fullback that's dealing with Saka's got to make a decision. Do I peel off him or do I stay tight?
Gahey, Rice, blonde-haired Gallagher laying it back for John Stones. We're in the last minute of the first half, maybe one additional minute to be added. No more than that, I wouldn't think. Phil Foden's got it, coming in off the left flank again. Stojanovic following him every step of the way, but not engaging. Long ball over the top from Rice, nodded down well by Walker, in a much more advanced position this time. That nod down finds Bukayo Saka. Saka into the feet of Bellingham here on the edge of the penalty area. He just tried to feather a ball back for either Saka or Foden, who were coming in, and he unfortunately missed the pair of them. Again, better from England. It's more intricate attacking play around the edge of the box than we've seen in either previous game, although everything is relative. Stones to Walker, with Gallagher again. Gallagher turns it out towards the right-hand touchline. That's the end of the first half. And again, some isolated boos and whistles, the reaction from the England support. I think that's probably been slightly better than what we've seen. But, as I say, it's not a particularly high bar to get over. The room for improvement is still copious and obvious. Half-time, 0-0.
As it stands, England will win the group. Let's just keep that in mind. Let's go down to Talksport's pitchside reporter, England correspondent Faye Carruthers. Some of the things you've noticed in that first half, they have been fascinating, and in particular, a sub warming up as the half closed.
Yeah, so usually the England subs tend to warm up in packs, particularly in the first half. We know that unless there's an injury, Gareth Southgate doesn't tend to make substitutions in the first half. And Kobbie Mainoo went out with Lewis Dunk, Jared Bowen, Cole Palmer and Trent Alexander-Arnold early on. But right towards the end of that first half, in the final 5 minutes, he was out warming up on his own aid, and he was warming up quite vociferously as well. I'm just watching him at the moment with the subs. So he's not gone in for any instructions, but I wonder whether he might be called upon in the second half.
Well, we shall see. Faye Carruthers, keep an eye on that for us. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at the half-time highlights with Carling.
Half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Well, Stuart Pearce, I'm an England fan, a passionate England fan. I'm watching that. I can acknowledge that there's elements that are better than we saw than against Denmark. I appreciate that. But I think, judging from the few boos that we heard, England fans still very frustrated and very unhappy that they're not fluent. They're not playing coherent football. They've really been in faces like they promised to be. So have England fans got the right to be frustrated after that 45 minutes or so? Well,
probably the best way for me to sort of approach it is say, where's the improvement going to come from? It'll come from Walker. If Walker picks the ball up, shoves it into Saka's feet and goes after him, either underlapping, overlapping, but run with pace beyond the wide player that fronts him up, we'll get a bit more from that right-hand side, and we need a touch more from the right-hand side. Left-hand side and the team look a lot better balanced now. Why is that? Because we've got a numbers overload here. You've got Trippier, you've got Foden, you've got Bellingham, you've got Kane, you've got Rice, all coming to look to have a part of it. So we've got a numbers game on top of the opposition, and we're getting some more fruit on this side of the pitch, which is a good thing. There is more energy in the team. Conor Gallagher's been a little bit loose with some of his passing and his giveaways. That is a potential issue. I think we just need some more from the right-hand side. The key to more on the right-hand side is Cole Walker, not Saka. Saka's beholden to someone giving him the ball and coming to make a run to distract the fullback. Cole's the person to do that.
England have dominated possession in that first half, 68 to 32%. They haven't done a huge amount with the ball, but there were one or two flashes. The goal that was disallowed was a really good England move. Trippier's ball in. I thought Gallagher could have done more to try and get his head on the ball, and I also thought Kane possibly, you said good movement in commentary, and I appreciate that, but I thought Kane could have anticipated that Gallagher might not get the ball and therefore be a step ahead and get on the end of it. What have you made of Harry Kane? Because the accusation has been that he doesn't look fully fit, and I think some fans would look at him tonight and think exactly the same. He just doesn't look fully fit.
Yeah, I think he's making an attempt to be more mobile. You know, that you can tell that he's attempting to press harder. He's attempting to free himself up a little bit. I think he's certainly been involved in this game a lot more than he was the last game, which is a real plus in that respect. Fitness issues, not sure, to be fair. But what I would say is, when we do get the ball in these wide areas, I've come fresh, as you did, from watching Spain. Every time that ball went in wide areas, you knew 2 touches coming in the box. I think we're better suited than the Spanish to do that on occasion, and it will certainly help Harry Kane as a centre forward. The only balls we put in from wide areas, we look quite effective. But I would say, don't be conservative, put it in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn from the Spanish, put the crosses in instead of checking back, going back, ends up with a centre half and goes back out the other side and then repeat until bored. Let's go back down to Faye Carruthers. What have you spotted, Faye?
Kobbie Mainoo's got his training bib off. He was doing an individual session with the strength and conditioning coach and sent back in early before the other substitutes who were just doing their usual drills and playing around. He was doing sprints with the coach. Looks like he's coming on for the second half.
Very good spot that. Kobbie Mainoo, Stuart, would you expect that to be for Conor Gallagher? You talked about Gallagher's loose passing.
Yes, it will. Conor's been a little bit loose with some of his passing and his giveaways. Yeah, without a doubt, it will be Conor if they're going to make a change.
And that might just allow Declan Rice to get forward even more. He's got forward in that first half, but it'll allow him to do it even more, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. As I say, it's been on a few occasions for certain individuals. It was on for Conor Gallagher. Just drive with the ball. If you get turned, have a look in front of you. If you've got 15 metres in front of you, just drive. You'll be amazed what it does to the opposition, putting them on the back foot.
England 0, Slovenia 0, but as it stands, regardless of what you think of the performance, England are winning the group and going into the bottom half, potentially weaker half of the draw. That was the half-time highlights. Thanks to Carling. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Just want to flag up a couple of shows for you this Thursday. Sam Matface is going to be joined by the former England striker Darren Benton, Talksport's football correspondent Alex Crook. Live from Dusseldorf, they'll look back at the group stages and preview the round of 16 ties here at Euro 2024. That's 7 till 10 Thursday night. Then on Friday night, myself, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, your England team on Talksport, will be in Dusseldorf as we will bring you the latest from the England camp. We'll ask Stuart to name his round of 16 side ahead of the game, and we'll be joined by guests from across Germany and all the other major camps this Thursday, Friday night, 7 till 10. We have you covered right here on Talksport. You're listening to Euro Game Day live on Talksport, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now.
Euro Game Day live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Get match ready with Club Card prices. Like Pringles 185 grams, now £1.45, down from £2.25. With Tesco Club Card, everyone can feel to lower prices. Tesco, every little helps. Majority of larger stores end 16th of July. Club Card or app required.
Strength comes from confidence, both on and off the pitch. And confidence starts with self-care. Upgrade your game with Dove Men Plus Care Advanced 72-hour sweat protection antiperspirant deodorant and Dove Men Plus Care 24-hour nourishing body wash. Perfect for your post-match shower. Now available in new eucalyptus and mint long-lasting fresh fragrance. Let confidence last with Dove Men Plus Care. Proud partners of UEFA Euro 2024 Germany.
I need to get snacks, I need to get drinks, should have done this beforehand. I need to get treats, gotta find a BP, gotta find a BP. Oh, my mates say won't like me, gotta find a... Oh, there it is.
BP is here for all your big game essentials. Plus, BP Me Rewards members can earn points to put towards great saves.
Adam in the car 1, hungry mates, nil.
BP, here for all of life's journeys. BP Me Rewards card or app required. For full T's and C's, visit bpmerewards.co.uk.
This tournament, prepare for greatness with William Hill. Get ready for last-minute winners, legendary goals, and... straight red cards. Oh, what was he thinking? Win 25% more on every single game this tournament with Bet Builder Extra, online or in the app. Only from William Hill. Available day before match to kick-off. Bet Builders of 3+ selections at 3-1 or more. Pre-match singles, match stake £20. Full T's and C's apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Let's go live to hear about that winning goal.
The crowd's gone absolutely wild here. How on earth do you sum up your emotions right now?
Amazing. A hat-trick is just the best feeling ever.
Is it though? Is kicking a ball into the back of the net really better than food fulfillment from Burger King? That warm, fuzzy feeling of total food satisfaction, like finishing the last bite of a Gourmet King's Barbecue Steakhouse Angus.
No.
Correct. Burger King. That's food fulfillment.
I tell you what, Jeff, it's been some journey, but here they are, just moments away from the whistle.
Absolutely. There's been twists, there's been turns, not to mention that parking of the bus. But as the clock runs down, I think they're going to make it.
It goes to show that you can really handle the pressure when your tyres are performing.
I'm home. Has the game started yet?
Top performance.
Driving home for the match? Keep your tyres in peak condition. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
When Andre sold his car on finance with Motorway, he got more money. Ooh! He then put that extra money into tickets to follow his team around the country.
Come on, lads!
Selling on Motorway was completely stress-free, which is more than I can say about being a supporter of... Sell your car the more money way, where 84% of sellers sold for more. Motorway. Validated against 2 independent sources. Visit motorway.co.uk/claims.
Euro Game Day Live. Delivered by Talksport with Burger King. What's better than a last-minute winner? A crispy chicken royale delivered straight to your door.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Official broadcaster of UEFA Euro 2024, Germany.
Talk Sport.
Well, it's been a frustrating first half here in Cologne. England 0, Slovenia 0, but as it stands, England will top the group. We asked them to play better. They have marginally, possibly, but still not to satisfy the England fans, I don't think. You're listening to Euro Game Day Live on Talksport, presented by Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18+. Please drink responsibly. Just a reminder, we believe Kobbie Mainoo will be coming on for the second half. We'll get you that confirmed as soon as possible here on Talksport. Let's look at the latest, all thanks to William Hill.
In the Zone on Talksport with William Hill. Prepare for greatness with William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
It's still England 0, Slovenia 0. England are 7-4 on to win. The draw is 15-2. Slovenia to win are 15-2 as well. Jude Bellingham to score or assist a goal is 3-1. Benjamin Šeško to score is 10-1. That was a look at the latest odds. Thanks to William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on Talksport with William Hill. Prepare for greatness with William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Right, over here, we're going to be here till 10:30 UK time, long after the final whistle, bringing you reaction from the England camp. Faker Others will be interviewing Gareth Southgate and a number of players, so stick around for that. There'll also be reaction from the England camp here in Cologne during the sports bar, which will get underway after 10:30. Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, who are involved right now in a watch-along on the TalkSport YouTube channel, and Jason Cundy has called England the Spurs of international football. Elsewhere on the text to TalkSport 81089, David the Chelsea fan says Bellingham off for Cole Palmer. He and Gallagher play together at the moment for their club at least. Mike on the text says so the Gallagher experiment hasn't worked. Next in block capitals. Aidan on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, says I haven't seen such misguided faith in a Gallagher since Be Here Now. I like what you've done there. It's not been a great performance from Conor Gallagher, but he's not the only one. I'm also interested, Stuart Pearce, in your views on Jude Bellingham, who was interesting pre-match, as Faker Others was pointing out, and we didn't know what it meant. Then we've seen the performance. listen, it's not been a 9 out of 10. It's not been a 4 out of 10 from Jude Bellingham. I think there's been a little bit of movement from him. I'm just a bit unsure what to make of Jude Bellingham's first half, bearing in mind we're talking about a world-class player who's in contention to win Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he's had a steady game without excelling. He looks as though he's got a little bit of frustration in him. You know, Faye picked up in the warm-up, there's that little bit of not confidence, if you like. We saw the arrogance come out with him after he hit the back of the net, didn't we, in the first group stage. I don't think we've seen that since, you know, and a lot's expected of him. He's 20 years old, and to be fair, he's played his part within the team. He's overloaded this left-hand side of the pitch. Just feel as though we need to pop a few more crosses in the box.
It has been a selfless performance from Jude. A couple of ground duels, but he didn't win either of them. One attempted dribble that was unsuccessful, hasn't had a shot. A couple of accurate long balls, but yet to play a key pass. Now, I'm not having a go at Jude by any stretch of the imagination, but he's had such an extraordinary time for Real Madrid. Those are all metrics that he will be demanding of himself that are improved over the next 45 minutes.
Well, England are back out there waiting for Slovenia to return for the second half. And remind you what Gareth Southgate said in the build-up to this third group game. He said, we've had time on the training pitch and plenty of discussions with the players. We have to produce it on the pitch. I don't think that they have so far. He also said, we're not hiding from anything. We're not making excuses. There's been honest appraisal of what we've done. They are top of the group as things stand, England, and we're getting ready for the second half. England 0, Slovenia 0, your second half on Talksport, live from Cologne, with former England captain Stuart Pearce alongside your England commentator on Talksport, Jim Proudfoot.
And it's a change at half-time, the earliest that Gareth Southgate has ever made in a tournament game. Conor Gallagher off, and Colby Mainu is on to replace him. It's only Gallagher's second competitive start today in the last 24 months. He came off at half-time in the last one as well, which ended up being a 2-0 win at home to Malta. And he's off tonight. Colby Mainu on to replace him. Would you have brought Mainu on, or would you have brought Wharton on, bearing in mind you're trying to bring the best out of Rice?
Well, that is the situation, isn't it? I think there is this concern that if you do shift Declan Rice from that role, it's going to expose your backline a little bit, and that is the concern you've got. Will it improve Declan's performance within the team? I think it will. Will it be to the detriment of the team? I don't know.
So Mainu is only 9 weeks past his 19th birthday, comes on for his 5th cap for England as a half-time substitute. This is how England line up: Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Gahey and Trippier. Rice now alongside Mainu, Saka, Bellingham and Foden and Kane. Oblak in goal for Slovenia, Karnacik, Drkušić, Bjol and Janja. Stojanovic, Nestor-Cherin, Elshnik and Maka, and Spora and Šeško up front. Now they'll be doing everything they can, like they did last night, to be able to get the two games kicking off pretty much simultaneously for the second half, and that means that there's a long delay here. Only now does Clement Turpin give the signal for the game to get back underway. England in all white, Slovenia in all blue. Night beginning to fall here in Cologne. Next 45 minutes could put the lights out on Slovenia in this tournament. If they avoid defeat, they're definitely going through. England know that if they win, then they will definitely be winning the group. And the way that the other results and the other groups have gone, England really need to win their group. Ball goes out towards Phil Foden on the England left-hand side. England are kicking from left to right in the second half here on Talksport, with Mark Gahey in possession, bringing the ball towards the edge of the centre circle. Comes down towards Stones, who will control it. And Colby Mainu gets the first touch, and second pops the ball back for Gahey as well. Trippier, who supplied 3 of the 5 England crosses in that first half, which is in stark contrast to the statistics over the first 2 games. Foden able to play it forward towards him again. England have had a much better balance down the left-hand side, but have lost a little bit down the right-hand side in the process. They'll work it forward again here, win a throw. Midway inside the Slovenian half. The game remains 0-0, so it's as you were in this group as things stand. Both games 0-0, and England would win the group Denmark would finish second. Serbia would be out. Phil Foden's got possession, coming in off that left flank into an inside left position. Kobbie Mainoo coming forward in support for him. Ball just slowed down to a standstill for a second or two there. Bellingham, lovely pirouette from Jude Bellingham in towards the feet of Mainoo. Mainoo's ball back behind Trippier. Just betraying his early nerves after coming on, when he was rescued by the experienced Kieran Trippier in behind him. Bellingham coming forward into a central area, then turns and sharply hits the ball out towards the left flank again for Trippier. 2 minutes gone in the second half, still 0-0. Foden, second half played almost exclusively in Slovenian territory so far, but the ball has been given away. Slovenia looking to try and hit on the counter-attack. Saka has done well to come back. Walker just showed an element of doubt into the mind of Maka. Saka came back and did the rest to mop up. And England are on the front foot again.
Yeah, just showing that little bit of extra pace we got on this right-hand side of the pitch. Might need to use it going forward rather than backwards a touch.
Kane in behind Mark Gahey. Gahey to Pickford forward towards John Stones. Stones controlling the ball, finding Kyle Walker. Walker for Stones again. Foden just keeping the width on the left-hand touchline, hugging the touchline for the moment. Just giving Karnagic, the right back, something to think about. Saka comes in off his flank to central area, goes behind square for Gahey. Trippier now to Foden. Foden will get it and has the opportunity to run at Stojanovic. Back through the midfield for Saka. Saka making his way back out towards the right flank. Bellingham to Walker. Down the line, Saka looks as though he's pushed in the back there. Plays allowed to continue. Saka's done well, good ball retention. Kobbie Mainoo inside the area for Bellingham. Bellingham can't get a shot in at the first time of asking. And after a touch from Maka, is happy to let the ball run out of play for a corner, which is England's third of the night. It's 0-0.
Yeah, decent build up there into this wide area. Just couldn't get it out of our feet to pop across into the box. And Bellingham, once again, couldn't just sort his feet out in the box. Corner for England.
That is the corner which has been taken short by Trippier. Mainoo, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Now to Walker. Walker out towards Rice. Lofted ball inside the penalty area. Attacked by Kane. Nodded in across the edge of the 6-yard box. Half cleared. And Bellingham will be able to pick it up. But he's gone back for Walker. Dangerous set piece from England. Not a good ball forward from the back from Kyle Walker. Couldn't hide his dismay. He's got away with it. Phil Foden. Brilliant quick feet from him. Able to find Bellingham. Bellingham inviting Trippier forward. And England still within 20 yards of the edge of the Slovenian penalty area as Mainoo picks out Bellingham. Bellingham almost got it through to Kane. But there's more invention from England's passing moves now. Ball launched by the Slovenians to halfway. Gahey has done a very good job on Spora. He continues to have a fine tournament. Saka down the right-hand side of the box here for Kane. Foden coming in. The cross blocked. Vital block. Out for a corner. Better start of the second half.
Yeah, some good play. Good interchanges. Just couldn't get in behind the Slovenians. And when they did turn over and counter-attack, Gahey done extremely well at dealing with any danger. As you rightly say, Jim, he's played a solid tournament and he's been vital for us at the back.
Trippier comes across to take this corner. Spots it down on the quadrant. Raises his right arm above his head. England looking for the breakthrough. It's hit in very deep. Kane nodding it back into a dangerous area. Sliced high up in the air by one of the Slovenian players. And then a shot, a speculative one from Foden from thick end of 30 yards. Bobbles wide. But it has been a more purposeful start from England at the beginning of the second half. They've started this second half infinitely better than they've started either of the other second halves in the tournament so far.
Yeah, they definitely have, and I think Mainoo's played a part in that. He's been quite concise with his passing, keeping possession, knitting things together.
Mainoo, another central midfield partner for Declan Rice. Fifth cap for him tonight, about to score the winner in the FA Cup final. Magnificent season that he's had, but will he now be able to stake a claim over the next 40 minutes or so to being a regular starter from here on in the tournament for England? Kyle Walker brings the ball forward. Bukayo Saka coming in off the right flank. Mainu controls it, runs back inside his own half. A conservative ball back towards John Stones. Stones' control, not the best, but under no pressure, he was able to salvage the situation. Bellingham comes down from that left flank, with Foden spending much more time in a central area tonight than he has so far. Stones plays it to Phil Foden now. Stones then lays it back inside the centre circle for Mark Gahey. Still plenty of width over on that England left-hand side if they want to try and launch it forward for Trippier, who's starting position much more in advance than Kyle Walker has shown on the right so far. Walker gets it forward here, down towards Mainu. Mainu for Walker. Walker in towards Foden. Foden controlling it, slipping it through towards Saka. But he's playing with his familiar head-up style tonight, Phil Foden, and has produced his best performance of the Euro so far. Rice goes down, his way back to his feet. There's just a little coming together between him and Elshnik. They help each other up, play goes on. England continue to dominate possession and have territorial advantage go with it in the early stages of the second half here on Talksport. Kane with another rasping ball. Walker trying to volley it back, but has sliced it over the far corner of the goal and straight out of play for a goal kick. The idea was right, the execution of the second pass, far from it.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic ball by Kane, I've got to say, to Walker, who's got himself forward on that occasion in the box. Got to take a touch really on that. And from there, I've got to say, England have started this half pretty well.
You're talking, making the comparison with Spain's B team that we saw beat Albania yesterday. They had 23 crosses across every 4 minutes in that game. England 5 crosses in the first half, across every 9 minutes by comparison.
And I definitely think it's on to pop it in the box, that is for sure.
Kane's done it again now. Bellingham making a run forward. The ball then cleared by Pjol. Bellingham went down. He's appealing for a penalty. And Slovenia get a goal kick out of it. But Harry Kane all of a sudden is much more heavily involved in different areas, playing incisive passes.
He certainly is. There's been more through balls, more forward passes, that is for sure, certainly from Harry. And Jude Bellingham there, his first touch just deceived him slightly.
Well, so much reaction after every England game. It goes without saying here on Talksport, starting with you tonight on the Sports Bar from 10:30 tonight. 03717 22 3344. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking your calls. We've also got the latest England reaction episode on Talksport's YouTube channel with myself, Jim Pratt, Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce. And that'll be posted last thing tonight. Be sure to catch that. Tomorrow morning, the reaction continues with Alan Brazil and Alan Pardew bringing you Talksport Breakfast. Rangers legend Ali McCoy's joining the boys from 8. And former England striker Ricky Lambert amongst the guests tomorrow morning. It's here on Talksport. And then more live games tomorrow, the conclusions of Groups E and F. Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine, Belgium at 5. Georgia, Portugal, and the Czechs against Turkey at 8. All 51 games covered for you, live with passion on the Talksport network. Kyle Walker plays the ball back here for John Stones. It's 0-0 tonight in both games. 10 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, I think the big plus for England, certainly this second half, Slovenia looked nowhere near affecting our goal in any way, shape or form.
Walker down towards Saka. Saka coming off the right flank for England and play it for Kieran Trippier, can just stride forward onto it. He'll lay it out towards the England left. Jude Bellingham's got it. Right-footed ball almost nonchalantly clipped towards the edge of the penalty area, but Pjol can get it away. Rice winning it back. They are trying to set up situations, keeping the front two forward here, Slovenia, where they can almost go 2 against 2 if they turn possession over. They've tried to do it here, but in doing so, it's a foul by Karnichnik. And a free kick to England, 12 yards outside the penalty area. Not quite a shooting position because of the angle. It's almost level with the left-hand side of the box.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity though. Foden, with obviously his previous free kick effort, is on top of the ball. Trippier as well, left and right foot options. Certainly Mainu's helped us, I would say, Jim, would you?
Absolutely, I think it has been a step forward in the midfield. He's played with a greater verve than Conor Gallagher was able to in the opening 45 minutes. Foden and Trippier, the two players standing over this for England. It's going to be a left-footed away swinger from Foden. Kane coming in to attack it. Brilliant defensive header, got it out of his flight path. Back in from Saka. Little near-post flick. And Rice chasing after that, watches it out of play for a corner.
Well, Harry Kane's eyes lit up then. That ball's floated in superbly well by Foden. Great defensive play, I've got to say. We all just got a little touch on it, helped it away over the top of Kane's head. Good play by England.
There was a goal-saving intervention from the centre-half. Foden to take this corner. England have had more in the second half than they did in the first already. In it comes, heading towards goal. It's cleared on the line by Šeško. Back in, an overhead kick attempt, saved by Oblak. And the referee's given a free kick to Slovenia inside their 6-yard box. I think Bukayo Saka is the guilty party because the overhead kick attempt has caught one of the Slovenian players.
Yeah, it's a big scramble in the box there. Great corner in. It's again great first contact. John Stones it was, and managed to keep the ball alive, and then it just dropped into good defending, brave defending actually. And Oblak just claimed it. England have started this half very well. Mainoo's played a big part in that. He's knitted things together. And you take this game in isolation up to now, and it's been a decent performance, I would say. I think we've come into it with a bit of emotional baggage, let's say, from the two previous games. But in isolation, I think we're quite pleased with this. If we can get a goal or two, it'll be a very good night's work.
Sporar, the player that was hurt, has received some treatment. He's down on this near touchline. Let's go back down behind the goal away to our left-hand side and join Talksport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers. Faye?
I'm just behind Jordan Pickford, whose reaction when John Stones' header was saved off the line there was a picture. He just plummeted down to the floor, but Kobbie Mainoo's just gone over and received some instructions from Gareth Southgate while taking on some water. He's had a great start.
Yeah, he has, and he's involved again here, winning it back, feeding Kane. Kane coming forward. Back down towards Bukayo Saka. Faye will be speaking to Gareth Southgate and the headline makers after the game, and you can hear those interviews here on Talksport in the immediate aftermath of the match. Kane picking up a loose ball on the edge of the penalty area, rolling it square. Trippier coming onto it. Bellingham takes the responsibility, feeds Foden to his left-hand side. 14 minutes gone in the second half, 0-0 here. 0-0 as well in the Denmark-Serbia game, although Serbia have just had a goal disallowed for offside there. But it remains 0-0. It's live on Talksport 2. Good movement from Declan Rice out of the England left. Coming in off the left flank, recycles it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Bellingham, Foden, Mainoo, Foden, Rice, Bellingham, Foden. England playing the passes as quickly as you can call the names at the moment, which is good to see. Rice clipping it towards the edge of the penalty area. In towards Walker, who chests it down. Walker back towards Bukayo Saka. Mainoo making a good third-man run forward. That creates space for Saka. Saka to Foden. Foden trying to bring it on, get himself into a shooting position. Nicked off his toes. England will come back again. They're turning the screw. Mainoo sends a ball inside the penalty area. Karničnik watches it go past him. Bellingham picks it up. Fielding it, going back for Declan Rice. Position of the referee did him no favours, but he plays a little 1-2 with Foden. It's cleared on the edge of the area. Šeško chests it down. Slovenia looking for a counter-attack, can't find one. Roars of real encouragement from the England support now, because this is better. They're getting closer, slowly closer to their level. Mainoo down towards Walker. Walker nudging it, trying to get past the fullback. Janja does get the ball in, but only after it's gone over the dead ball line. Too heavy a touch, but good attacking intent from Walker, taking on his man.
Exactly, took the words out of my mouth, Jim. As I say, he's picked the ball up, he's one-on-one. You know, in world football there's very, very few quicker than him, and it's the first time tonight he's took him for a run. Want to see a touch more of that. England playing extremely well at this moment in time, waiting for that opening, and while they're doing well, he's getting the overloads in these wide areas. It's 4 versus 3. If the Slovenians are leaving 2 up the pitch, they're very lightweight either side.
The other thing about Walker taking on Janja is on a yellow card. He's the one Slovenian player that has been booked. So Kyle Walker, I'm sure, given as much licence as he wants to try and make that type of run. We just haven't seen it frequently enough. Stones has got the ball in the heart of the midfield for England. Brings it towards the edge of the centre circle, plays out to the left-hand side. Back it comes towards Bellingham. Bellingham to Trippier. He will bring it forward and find John Stones. Walker coming forward now, as Stones would for Manchester City, into the heart of the midfield. Ball goes out towards Saka, and the referee's assistant, I think, has flagged that it's just gone out of play. Or he's given a free kick, has he?
It's Saka is deemed just catching Jesna in the face.
Just tried to roll his man, pop the ball off towards Mainu, and did his best to wriggle away. He did just catch the fullback. A free kick which will be taken by the Slovenes. They're in no hurry to take it. A few of them getting some drink on board.
I mean, from a positive point of view, Jim, I think we've limited them to very, very few efforts or even entries in our final third, which is a real plus.
Much more purposeful from England. Stones has to come across here as Gahey just for a moment was beaten. That's been a rarity. A little low five between Stones and Gahey. So one centre-half bails out the other. Clearance putting the ball out. It's going to be a throw that will be taken on the Slovenian right, midway inside the England half. Šeško waiting towards the edge of the penalty area, goes in towards Sporta. Shot from distance, a left-footed effort well wide of Jordan Pickford's goal. And out for a goal kick that will be taken by England. Hardly seen anything from Slovenia as an attacking force. It was interesting looking at their previous games that they would press in the first half, but they would take huge breathers. They go through long 15-minute periods where they wouldn't press at all. They would just allow the opposition possession. We've seen one now at the beginning of the second half. They did that against the Danes as well. We just had no interest in trying to win the ball. It was literally about containing. And that might be a dangerous tactic to play here. 63 gone, 0-0. England still top of the group. They might end up playing the Dutch if they win this group. If they finish second in the group, they will end up playing Germany, and that needs to be avoided. Win the group, you're in the easier half of the draw. So many of the big hitters are in the other half. Long ball forward from Gahey, headed down by Walker, just behind Mainu, but straight to Bukayo Saka. Walker picks it up again, through the midfield for Mark Gahey. Into the feet of Jude Bellingham. It's the first England display in the Euros where they've got better as the night has gone on. That also a sign of encouragement. Saka to Walker. Walker back towards Kobe Mainu. Mainu drifting out towards the right-hand side again. Mainu coming in with his left foot, lent it with his right foot to his left, gets it back. Rice will bring it forward, flicked it for a run from Saka, which wasn't forthcoming. Bellingham read the script and chased after it, and just gave that Janja a cheeky little shove in the back, and Janja making the most of that has gone down. Now I'm going to speculate that it wasn't actually as hard a shove as he's making out. Just guessing. But he's getting back to his feet. He's going to be okay. And it's going to be the goal kick, the restart play, which will be taken away to our right-hand side. Night has fallen. There are 4 vertical columns, one in each corner of the stadium here, that as night comes and light up in different colours, some greens and blues and reds, just big squares, almost like the easiest Rubik's Cube you can wish to see, stacked one on top of the other, going up past our view, past the roof into the night sky. Rice gets it forward. Janja is okay, I'm glad to say. Gahey gets it down the left-hand touchline. Foden stuck out a leg, couldn't bring it under control. Karničnik can, and he will win a throw, which will be taken by the Slovenians over on the right flank. As things stand, good night for Slovenia, because they're going through. A better night for England in terms of the level of performance, and the support, as you can hear, all around us, much more positive tonight, because they've got something to grab hold of now, the England fans.
Yeah, and the team are playing with confidence. You can still see and feel the confidence growing within the ranks, you know, in what they're trying to achieve.
Southgate just giving Kobe Mainu a few instructions by the bench. It's talking the young man through the game when necessary. Mainoo's done really well. Stones. And to Phil Foden. Back for Trippier again. Trippier a yard or two inside his own half. To Foden. Bellingham makes a run. Laid back once more for Gahey. Gahey inside the centre circle for Walker. Walker to Saka. Saka coming in off the right flank. Back for Walker. Play almost exclusively in the half that England are attacking. But although they had a really good start of the second half, the chances that were being created just dried up for the moment. Phil Foden towards the edge of the centre circle for Stones. Almost midway through the second period. Stones to Walker. Walker continues his run. Saka lets the ball run across him. Feeds Kane. Cleared though by the left back Janja. Foden getting it back in the midfield. Down towards Walker. Kane just standing with his back to the direction of play on the edge of the penalty area. More dynamic run comes from Bukayo Saka. Players just not staying regimented, fixed in the same positions in this England performance tonight. Foden coming forward, thought he was caught. Would have been a free kick in a really good position, not given. Gahey then has got to make sure that he doesn't let Spora get past him. He's pulled him down, it's going to be a yellow card. Stones a covering defender, it's only a yellow, no more than that. But he made the mistake, Mark Gahey, and he knew he had to physically take matters into his own hands really quickly.
Yeah, we lost the ball on the edge of the box. It was just pumped forward, and two centre-halves sort of got in a bit of a mix, and Gahey himself was the one that probably made the first mistake of the evening, or maybe even the tournament in his respect.
And there's some movement on the England bench, Faye.
There is. Cole Palmer is stripped and ready to go, taking instructions from Steve Holland. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to come off and who he's going to replace.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Bellingham, you know. Out of all the players on the pitch at the moment, it would be Bellingham for me that would come off. I think he's probably been the weaker of. I think Harry Kane's played well, Foden's played well. Declan Rice, you can't take him out of the midfield. Manu's come on and done very well. Where'd you go otherwise?
You would imagine that will be the change. He will be coming on very shortly for his tournament debut. Was part of the under-21 side that won the European Championships. He scored a goal en route to that, Cole Palmer, and he's going to be coming on for the final 20 minutes here. First of all, though, there is a free kick to defend. They've created nothing from open play in this second half, Slovenia. But what does this set piece give them? And there's the Cherin, the central midfielder, stands over this. The angle favours a right-footed in-swinging delivery. It's 30 yards from goal. There's the Cherin standing, hands on hips. Is he going to be the man to deliver it? Every England player back behind the ball. Is clipped in, left-footed in the end by Janja. An England player goes down. The ball goes straight through the penalty area and out for a goal kick. It's an England man down. It is Jude Bellingham. Stones goes across and will help him back to his feet. And are England going to make the change now, or are they going to make it the next break in play? It is going to be now. And Cole Palmer, wearing 24, is just showing his boots to the fourth official, and the numbers board comes up, and it's number 7, not number 10. So Bukayo Saka is the player that's going to come off, Stuart.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know whether Saka's been carrying some sort of injury at all, but he's certainly been the one that's come off in the games on a regular basis in and around this sort of time. So I can only help thinking that it's as much sort of physical as it is performance-wise.
So Palmer, 27 goals over the course of the season for Manchester City and predominantly for Chelsea, comes on and plays on the right-hand side in Saka's position. But he'll make an early dynamic run through the middle here. That created space for Walker. A long diagonal ball pinged out in his direction, didn't quite find him. England very quickly win it back in the midfield with Mainu. Mainu to Declan Rice. And Rice just inside his own half as he controls the ball. Has options to his left-hand side. One of them is Bellingham, and he can now play it further forward towards Kieran Trippier. 19 to go, it's 0-0. And 0-0 as well, live over on Talksport 2 between Denmark and Serbia. So England winning the group and 20 minutes away, as near as makes no difference, from winning the group. Stones. Getting it forward away from Šeško. No sign of any Slovenian changes as yet. On occasion, they've gone to a back five late in games, gone 5-3-2. I wonder if they'll be tempted to do that here. Remember, a draw, a good result for them, because it will mean that they will qualify. Walker to Maynard. Now play forward by Walker, slipping it in towards Kane, and he's been brought down cynically around the edge of the penalty area. Beyond the defender involved. Again, there's a covering defender. It's a yellow card.
Yeah, good ball into Kane's feet there. Viol's got too tight, ended up in a couple of ricochets with Kane. Kane's got the other side of him. His eyes lit up. He thought he was in on goal. And then a very, very cynical foul. We've had two really cynical fouls that a yellow card probably doesn't do justice. It's not a red, but it's almost a 10-minute sin-bin job.
Yeah, both oranges. Both saw that they had teammates coming back so that they could make that kind of challenge with impunity, but both of them, that one and the Gahey one a few minutes before it at the other end, certainly you would imagine saved a shooting opportunity from a really good area.
It's really good to hear the England fans in good voice. Obviously a little bit of frustration certainly in the last game, but I think they've been buoyed up by this performance.
There are three in the wall. The free kick is 6 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre. Trippier and Foden stand over. There are 5 to be picked out in the far post area. Trippier flighting it in, peeling round the back. Gahey nods it down. Palmer's going to get there first. The ball cleared out of play for a throw. Jingler will take over on the far side. And from a set-piece situation, that close to goal was a disappointment.
Can I ask you a question, Jim? What result in the other game would, if we're staying 0-0, would dispose us of top position? A Danish 1-0 victory, potentially, or...?
Yes, well, absolutely that. So if this ends 0-0 and the Danes win 1-0, then Denmark would finish top of the group. That game apparently has been even worse than this one. They would finish top of the group on goals scored if that one ends 1-0 and this one ends 0-0. So the Danes, if they're going to win by 1 and this one ends as a draw, have to score more goals than England do. But yeah, 1-0 changes everything. It changes it from being a game against the third place team, ended up in the right half of the draw, to playing against Germany in the wrong half of the draw. So everybody with everything crossed. The news from Munich is good as well. Ball played towards the edge of the area and slicing across it. It's flashed wide on the outside of the right boot by Declan Rice. High tower of chance.
Yeah, really good effort there. Good run. Mainu sat, held his position. Declan Rice foraging forward. Good little 1-2 and slashed at his attempted shot. But listen, I don't want to make sure that tonight's game doesn't end up falling flat. If there's a result elsewhere and we drop into the other side of the draw and face Germany, I think this will be a real frustration for us.
Well, you mentioned Denmark there. Let's go back pitch side and speak to our correspondent Faye Carruthers.
Yeah, Jordan Pickford just walked over in a break and asked me what the score was in the other game. Put 2 zeros up. I nodded and he put 2 thumbs up. Pleased with that.
Yeah, if England can match Denmark's result, that will be good enough. Šeško, the golden boy of Slovenian football, has come off and he's been replaced by a man that used to have that mantle back in the day, Josip Ilicic, now 36. Bosnian-born midfielder who scored nearly 100 goals in Serie A, and he's come on for the final 15 minutes. Both of these two teams happy as things stand at the moment. Chance for Ilicic now to get the ball forward from the heart of the midfield. And towards the left-hand touchline for Slovenia. Janja is waiting, but it's a more conservative approach to goal that they take. Just trying to get a grip on the ball at the moment. Durkasic launched forward towards Karnacik, headed away. And England chase after a loose ball on the far touchline, which is their left, but they're not going to get to it. Jan Oblak will be able to clear, right-footed over halfway. Rice just being pulled down, got his head to it anyway. Foden's done well, gets it to Kyle Walker. Walker will come forward to his right-hand side. Cole Palmer driving, lovely ball, split through the back line for Mainu. Mainu pulls it back past the penalty spot, in behind Kane. Nobody else had gambled. Slovenia get it away.
Yeah, great play, great interchange there, good movement, and that pullback, you're waiting for a white shirt to arrive around the penalty spot and stroke it into the back of the net. Sadly, they made other runs.
And now Declan Rice has just picked up a yellow card for a foul on Ilicic. That's 3 England players booked so far. The crime count could potentially end up being important, depending on the result in this game and the result in the other. It might be that the disciplinary record of England and Denmark becomes relevant. England with the 3 yellow cards tonight, still 2 ahead of the Danes in total, but just in case. It also, of course, means that you've got a potential problem with suspensions later on in the tournament. Rice getting his first yellow card of the tournament there, and is in the book along with Trippier and Gahey tonight, and Janja and Bjol of Slovenia. 12 minutes to go. Cole Palmer again driving forward, clipping it left-footed over the top. Kane chases after it. First time ball flashed across the 6-yard box. Attacked by Foden. Karnacik there first concedes the corner.
Super play by England. I've got to say, Palmer driving with the ball. Lofted one up, little late iron, chipped it in the air. This one's for Deck actually. A little late iron into the air that put Kane through. His cross was magnificent. He just needed a tap in.
Phil Foden will take the corner over on the England left-hand side. Hitting really deep. Kane trying to get his head to it. Has actually diverted it back towards Foden, who bobbles one in. There's been a push on a Slovenian defender. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by them inside their own box. Now that yellow card that I said was for Declan Rice seemingly was actually for Foden for dissent rather than for Rice for the challenge. Foden, we understand, is the player who has been booked. 11 minutes to go and it's goals.
Yeah, I think a goal for England now will take this performance from probably a 7 to certainly an 8, that is for sure.
And Stat very much in favour of the second half performance as well. Those positive marks. The second half has probably been an 8 bordering on a 9 if England were to score the goal. It's been their best football that we've seen out here and has restored a modicum of belief, but nothing to show for it. Well, not too much to show for it yet, although 0-0 with the other game being 0-0 does mean that the night will have a very positive outcome. Walker finding John Stones towards the edge of the centre circle. Mainu's dropped deep, splitting the gap between Stones and Walker for a moment. Now Mainu has it again and brings it through the centre circle to John Stones. Stones on halfway as he controls the ball to his left-hand side for Declan Rice. Down towards Walker. Be interesting to see what you have made of this England performance. And you can tell the boys on the sports bar on 03717 223344 from 10:30. Bellingham flicked in through the midfield. Palmer is involved. Palmer just waiting for a return ball. Maynard couldn't quite provide it. Janja's down, hurt again, and play will stop so that he can receive treatment. It's not a head injury. Didn't seem to be too much need to stop play there. The referee has told him that he's either going to have treatment or get back on his feet and get on with it. Just caught by Jude Bellingham. But it should be a drop ball in England's favour when play restarts.
As I say, just wanted a bit of sympathy, and I don't think he got too much from his own fans, let alone the England fans.
What do England need to do, Stu, in the 9 minutes that remain to turn this, as you said, from a 7 into an 8? How do they get the goal?
Well, it's just keep doing what they're doing. Palmer's come on, give us a lift. Mainu's come on, give us a lift. Kane's played well. It's those interchange, keep forcing it, keep the tempo high and keep doing what they're doing basically.
Stones to Walker, now out towards Cole Palmer. Palmer, lovely drop of the shoulder onto his right foot, then his left, laid back towards Jude Bellingham. Bellingham looking for Declan Rice in the midfield. Rice couldn't get a clean touch. The Slovenians play it forward, long one over the top. And that'll drift away and out for a throw, which will be taken on the England right-hand side, while the other game is 0-0. If England were to find themselves behind in this one, they would finish second in the group. Slovenia would win the group. So everything's still so tightly poised. Stones to Rice to Walker. Walker down towards the England right-hand side for Cole Palmer. Another awkward ball. Diving headed clearance. Got it away. It was another piece of good defending by Yol. And a couple of those. Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to be coming on in a moment for England. Ball laid off by Bellingham out towards the left flank. Kieran Trippier. 8 minutes plus stoppage time to go. So maybe 12 minutes of playing time remaining. Stones on halfway. Sporat having one of those nights where he's having to do all of his good work off the ball. He's getting no opportunities to shine on it.
That's the credit to the England backline, who every time the ball's been cleared, potentially, they've dealt with it apart from one occasion.
We were talking before the game about England's historical struggles against sides who play with a deep 4-4-2. The ball is played over the top four. Kane inside the penalty area. Kane comes back outside the box. Feeds Phil Foden. Left-footed shot from him. Very well blocked. Elshnik that threw himself into the line of fire. Comes back out for Foden again. Foden to Walker. Coming forward up the right flank, the lively Palmer. Palmer's ball inside the penalty area towards the penalty spot. Another one of those in-swinging low skidders. It was cleared, but we've seen so many deliveries from Palmer in the few minutes that he's been on the field. Launched long towards Gahey. And he's going to be able to smuggle it back for Jordan Pickford. Pickford coming out of his penalty area, flicked on. Palmer trying to help it round the corner. His boot raised too high, he's caught Janša. And it's going to be a free kick to Slovenia. That will give England the opportunity to make the change at Stuart. And it's going to be Kieran Trippier coming off and Trent coming on.
Yeah, strange one, but maybe they're looking for Trent, I think, to come on. I thought he might come into a midfield berth, probably for Jude, but that's not been the case. He's slipped in here. Little switch. Walker's gone to left back. Maybe not a bad thing. We've got Trent on. You asked what could England do to win the game. Maybe his range of passing might be one of those things.
6 minutes to go. Bellingham chasing after a ball that was played back for Oblak. Threw himself at the goalkeeper in an attempt to get in the way of his clearance. Oblak's clearance beat him. Ball very quickly down the other end of the field. England win a free kick of their own. Pickford. Here is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Long ball almost skewered round the back of the centre-half to Kusic. Not quite, though. Stojanovic wins the throw for Slovenia on halfway. Really, really tense in Cologne, because one moment here, or one moment down country in the other game between Denmark and Serbia could make a phenomenal amount of difference. Slovenians now going to make changes of their own. And the players that are coming on, the former Huddersfield midfielder Jan Goran Stankovic. And he's going to be joined on the field by Sela. Jan Sela, the Lugano striker, came on the last 15 minutes against Denmark, had a good season in the Swiss League, more than 20 goals. And Maka and Sporar are the players that are coming off. 5 to go, 0-0. England doing okay, but it's tense.
It is. It's incredible, really. You've got 2 0-0 draws going on at this moment in time. England have been very, very comfortable, but and already qualified out of the group. But you know full well the jeopardy that you've got to drop into a weaker or a stronger part of the draw.
Into the 87th minute, John Stones in possession for England. Alexander-Arnold working it to Mainu, but he slipped. And Janša's going to be able to bring it forward for Slovenians down the left-hand side. England have been able to get their shape back. Stankovic making an early run forward, trying to get in behind Alexander-Arnold. And then comes back from Alexander-Arnold's blind side, Fed Ilicic. England win it back. Mainu to Trent Alexander-Arnold again. Goal in either game changes the complete complexion of this group potentially. Alexander-Arnold works it into the feet of Foden. England winning the group at the moment, but a goal for Denmark or a goal for Slovenia, and that changes. Goal for England, they're home and hosed. Walker out of the England left once more. 3 to go here on Talksport. 3 to go in the other game over on Talksport 2. If you've got the app, you can easily swipe between the two, and you'll be able to do that tomorrow as we bring you 2 games at 5 and 2 games at 8, the conclusions of Groups E and F. Another England change. We'll see Anthony Gordon come on in a moment. Not much time for him to shine. Long ball out towards the England right-hand side for Cole Palmer. First touch, volleyed past the fullback Janša. Palmer then appeared to initiate the contact. Janša didn't do too much to get out of the way, and England have a free kick just outside the box on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Trent Alexander's wandered over to it with Foden, left and right foot delivery. Good play once again by Palmer. He's had good impact. I've been really impressed. We talked about the impact from the bench. Been really impressed with Palmer and Mainu.
Yes, England's substitutions have been effective today. Another oft-publicised criticism of Gareth Southgate, but not so much today. Now, can England make this pay? We're in the 89th minute. Last time that these two sides met, England won it with a stoppage time goal from Harry Kane. Will Kane be able to strike late? Will one of his teammates be able to get the job done here and seal this? In it comes from Foden. Goalkeeper came out, didn't get close to it, but it was knocked away. Mainu then protects the ball outside the penalty area. There's a Slovenian man who's gone down, and he's waved up. He doesn't get up, and the referee again inexplicably, because it's not a head injury, stops the play.
Really odd referee in there. I don't really know what he's done. I don't know whether he's given a free kick eventually.
I think he might have done. Stojanovic, the player that went down. So England will make the change. Foden coming off, Gordon coming on.
Yeah, as I say, there's been some good performances in the England ranks, I've got to say, tonight. See Palmer, now Gordon making their bow in this tournament.
What have you made of Foden?
I thought he's played quite well tonight. I think the longer the game's gone on, the more he's got into it. He's been more effective on this left-hand side because we had the numbers overload, which has helped him and England, the balance of the team. All we've been short of is a goal, really, Jim.
Yeah, solid second half performance. England's best 45 minutes of the tournament so far. Stones played out of the England left-hand side now for Anthony Gordon, who's dropped his shoulder, just poked it past the fullback, chases after it, but it's gone out, and it's gone out of play for a throw to Slovenia. Just waiting to see how many extra minutes are going to be added on. There's going to be a change first from the Slovenians, and Balkovets will come on to replace Janša. Janša, who's on a yellow card, has been leading a little bit of a charmed life at times, so Balkovets will come on to replace him for stoppage time. And it looks as though there are going to be 4 additional minutes. So 4 minutes for either side to win this game. 0-0 the score at the moment. The last 3 times England have played against a side who played with a deep, compact 4-4-2, they've scored just the 1 goal in those 3 games combined. They have created opportunities in this second half, but haven't been able to make the most of them. It's a throw which will be taken by England, level with the edge of the Slovenian penalty area. 0-0 the score in both games. England winning the group, Denmark will come second, Slovenia third, and they will also go through. Alexander-Arnold. Back past Stones for Pickford. The white Black smoke billowing away to the right-hand side. Some pyro in the Slovenian end. Now Stones has got it. Stones 10 yards inside his own half. Out of the right-hand side for Cole Palmer. Palmer put under pressure. Lays it back for Alexander-Arnold. Small ball from him. Needs rescuing by Walker. It was. Stretched out his right leg. Brought it under control. And Walker in a position to try and bring it forward now for England. Can they create one final chance? Good ball between the lines. Mainu, great touch. Kane towards the edge of the penalty area. Palmer comes onto it. Oblak dives to his left and makes the save.
Really good play there. Why was it good play? Because Gordon picked it up and drove with the ball, got his head up, faced the opposition's goal, and a couple of great incisive passes and interchanges, and Palmer come onto that and just flattened off with his effort a little bit. Not easy taking them like that. He needed to open the goal up a little bit. Good play by England.
Oh, it'll be some time for him to score his first international goal. A couple of minutes to go here. And about 4.5 to go at the Allianz down in Munich, where it's still 0-0 between Denmark and Serbia. Throw will be taken on the right flank by the Slovenians. They've been forced back, and then England actually, as the ball goes back out of play, win a throw themselves. Throw on halfway. 90 seconds to go. Walker filling in at left back for the closing stages of this game. Down towards Stones. Stones working into Trent Alexander-Arnold. Another good ball turned down the right-hand side. Cole Palmer's got it. Little hint of a stumble. He's forced down towards the corner flag. Little back heel flick. He's got the better of Elshnik. Gets it back from Mainu. Setting it up for Alexander-Arnold on the edge of the penalty area. Was he caught? The referee's assistant put his flag up and then put it down again very swiftly. Play goes on as England then win possession back after good work from Walker, and Bellingham brings it forward. Coming in off the left flank is the blonde-haired Anthony Gordon. Now to Alexander-Arnold, right-footed effort over the bar, and that may well see this end 0-0.
Yeah, good play there. Once again, I'll tell you what I'm enjoying. I'm watching Palmer and Gordon coming on, as much to say, sending a message to the dugout, hey, I'm ready for you if you need me. So I don't think we should be afraid of making changes.
Yeah, a number of positives to dissect from the second half, but not the win that England wanted. Not seemingly. Only about 10-12 seconds to go as Jan Oblak prepares to take this goal kick. The Slovenians will be delighted when the full-time whistle goes, because it will mean that they have qualified. Ball played for there, Ilicic chased it, Gahey swept up. It's a 0-0 draw, and the boos ring out from an element of the England support. Real frustration from them that they haven't got the job done, but it was a better second half. Slovenian substitutes race onto the field, surround Jan Oblak, who made a couple of significant saves. Slovenia have qualified for the knockout stages of a major tournament for the first time in their history. For England, the first half was indifferent. It reeked of oh no de Cologne. But it turned out much better in the second half with some inspired substitutions. There is now something to build on. England just hoping that the news from Munich is good and that is enough to win the group. It finishes 0-0.
Well, England currently top of the group, winning the group. A goal for Denmark changes that. So let's get to the final few minutes of that game in Munich with Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Nigel Adderley.
It's all over in Cologne. England 0, Slovenia 0. We welcome listeners from Talksport to the closing stages in Munich, where we have just over a minute of added time to play. It is Denmark 0, Serbia 0. Denmark are going through at the moment in second place. Serbia are going out at the end of what has been, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, a dreadful game.
Yeah, it's been a really poor watch. Denmark have controlled in terms of possession, but for both sides in terms of quality opportunities created, it's been few and far between, and Serbia was so poor in the first half. They've tried, they've changed it, they've brought more attackers on in the second half, but still the creation of quality opportunities has been sadly lacking.
Hammered away by Joachim Andersen for Denmark. Serbia have all of their strikers in the squad on the field of play, but they have run out of time. Denmark go through in second place with 3 draws ahead of Slovenia on the tiebreakers. and Serbia are out. It is finished in Munich. Denmark 0, Serbia 0.
Cheers, Nige. Cheers, Courtney. I've got to say, I can't quite work out how England have topped the group, but first things first, thank goodness England have topped the group. With the way the draw works out, it's the best possible outcome we could have hoped for. But I've got to tell you about the reaction here in Cologne from the England fans. At the final whistle, there were what I thought were a lot of boos from the England fans. There were a lot of England fans streaming out straight away, not hanging around to applaud the fans. Jordan Pickford was remonstrating with the fans, lifting his arms in the air as if to say, come on, we haven't lost, we've got through, we've qualified. He was saying to them, let's be more positive. There's a whole load of England fans along the front of the end away to our left who were applauding. Those diehards, the ones that really love England, win, lose or draw, and they've drawn again tonight. The England players have gone over to applaud the fans, and I have to say, more so than normal, there are a lot of empty seats in the England end. It's a draw, but it's a draw that means England win the group, and that's what we wanted to do. So Stuart Pearce, I don't know how to feel, because listening to your commentary, I thought there was a lot of positives from England. There are a lot of things that you could say, well, they did that better than the last game. It's a low bar, by the way. Did that better than the last game. So positives from this game. I'm still looking at it thinking it's not good enough. It's a low block from Slovenia. Yeah, they needed a point and they've got it and they're celebrating. But we've got to have more about us to break that low block down, and we just didn't have it. We weren't exactly peppering their goal. I'm leaving this ground tonight very, very frustrated at what I've witnessed from England. These players are capable of so much better. At the same time, we've won the group, so tell me how I should be feeling.
Right, for me, I see it as a massive positive. From what we saw in the last game and the flatness physically, if nothing else, of the last game, I didn't see that today. I think we addressed the fact that we had no punch at all on the left-hand side over the last couple of games by having an overload, and that come from the manager, and it's come, so you've got to give some form of credit there. The way he lined the team up, Bellingham played more on the left-hand side, a numbers game overloaded the left-hand side. We looked more evenly balanced in the way we done. Substitutes, Mainu at half-time, come on, give us a lift. Palmer, give us a lift. Gordon was on the front foot, give us a lift. Kane, I thought, played well. I thought Foden played well. I think there was more positives within this situation. I thought on the downside, I was a little bit disappointed with Jude Bellingham. I don't think he had one of his better games, and I thought Cole Walker could have helped Saka get more of an involvement in the game. But they're the only two things I can pick up on. This is the Slovenian side that didn't affect us whatsoever in this second half. They hardly got in our half. We dealt with any possible counter-attacks brilliantly. Be positive.
Okay, I'm trying to be positive. I'm listening to what you're saying. Mainu, I thought, was brilliant when he came on and really got us going forward. But in terms of a low block, I mean, I should feel relieved, because I doubt in the knockout stages teams are going to employ a low block against us, unless we come up later stages against a Slovenia who have made it somehow to the later stages. And if that happens, we might have to come up with a new plan. The game should be more open, which might just play into England's hands. But again, tonight, at the start of the game, Stuart, I said, let's see some evidence that we are capable of winning this tournament. And I just haven't seen enough. So after the 3 group games, I'm thinking we do not look like European Championship winners, and that's what I want us to do.
Yeah, well, listen, we haven't seen a performance that will be akin to European winners. But then again, there's a lot of teams that don't deliver that performance this early on. For me, this is a massive step forward. The players needed a shot of confidence in their arm. You could see in the first 10 minutes there was a little bit of nervousness in the ranks. The passing wasn't clinical. They were loath to make the clinical passes. At the end of the game, we're seeing players running with the ball, getting turned and playing passes that's bisecting the thirds of their ranks. And I was buoyed up by that. And listen, massive positive for me tonight, this performance. Massive positive. The only thing we haven't done is hit the back of the net.
They didn't threaten us at all, really, Slovenia. They wanted a point, they've got a point. They're still out there celebrating with their fans because they qualified from the group. They're making qualification from the groups easier, but they've taken advantage of that and got through. They're in third place, they're qualified. So Denmark are through as well. England have won the group. It's Serbia that go out. I think on the phone in tonight, on the sports bar, which is coming up, you might want to get your calls in early or your WhatsApp voice notes, 03717 223344. I think, Stuart Pearce, when we listen to that on the way back, there are going to be fans who are saying, you know, Southgate's not going to win us this cup. There will even be those saying, we know he's not going to win us the tournament, so why don't we change manager now? There will be lots of negatives. They will be saying things like, Cole Palmer should have come on a lot sooner. Why leave it that late for Anthony Gordon? And then they'll look at the finishing positions of a lot of the players. Kyle Walker was at left back, I think. Trent Alexander-Arnold looked like a centre forward at times. I mean, and they'll be puzzled by what his tactics. Did he know exactly what he was doing? These things are going to be levelled at him. I'm pleased for his sake that he doesn't listen to external noise, but there's going to be a huge amount of criticism of the way England have performed in this group and the way they've performed tonight, even though, and I will reiterate, England have topped the group.
Well, one of the criticisms he gets is he's not attack-minded. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. By putting Trent Alexander on at right back was a really positive thing to do. Putting Gordon on as well. We had Palmer on the same time as well. And he's put players on the pitch and he was chasing, trying to win that game, in my opinion, in what we were doing. I think the dressing room will be a buoyant place at the moment. They've been under the pump the last few days, you know. There's been a lot of people out of them, and one or two others people have been critical of the performance, and I've been one of them. You know, I've got to say what I see. Now I'm going to say what I see tonight. I'm buoyed up by that because I knew they needed a shot of confidence in their arms, and I think they'll get that by that performance.
Right, let's give you a little pointer as to what's coming up for England, and this is important. Unless Georgia or Czechia win tomorrow evening, England will play the Netherlands in the round of 16. So Czechia are playing Turkey in Group F tomorrow night. Georgia take on Portugal tomorrow night in Group F. They're both live on the Talksport network. So let me reiterate. Unless Georgia or Czechia win tomorrow evening, England will play the Netherlands in the round of 16. Beyond that, it gets complicated. But England are in what we would call the correct half of the draw, having won the group. They're in the bottom half of the draw, which means they cannot meet Spain, Germany, Portugal or France until the final. And I know some of you listening to this will be looking at those England performances even tonight and think there's no way this side's getting to the final. The reality is we can't meet the big boys, what are the so-called big boys, the favourites you would think after this first round, until it gets to the final. Sports Bar is coming up for all of your calls. We'll get reaction from the England camp as well, of course. But Jamie O'Hara was doing the watch-along on the TalkSport YouTube channel, and he stormed out of it because of the ref. And we just wonder if he's going to be back in time for the Sports Bar after having his strop. But the ref, I mean, he made some odd decisions, Stuart, the referee, but I'm not quite sure the ref was the reason that England didn't win the game tonight.
No, I didn't see that personally, you know. But listen, I think the referees give these decisions when players hit the ground, you know. I don't think they see the challenge, they just see the reaction afterwards.
Yeah, listen, there's positives to take. One of the main ones is that England have top Group C. There's negatives as well, and you will have all of those negatives in your locker, and you will want to get them off your chest on TalkSport tonight. You can get your calls in 03717 223344. We're here in Cologne at this stadium, which is emptying out for another half an hour or so, getting that reaction from the England camp. But the news is, the headline news tonight is that England have won Group C. They didn't win the game, it finished 0-0. 2 draws and a victory have taken England to the top of Group C and into the bottom half, what you might even call the easier half of the draw. You're listening to Euro Game Day live on TalkSport, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now.